Hello. I just want to talk to you quickly today about this amazing book, Never Will I Die by Toby Gutteridge with Michael Calvin. I must have read 400, 500 books over the last 4 or 5 years since I started taking my reading much more seriously and my personal development much more seriously. And that is what this channel is about. It's about personal development, what we can learn from some of the best books, whether they're fiction or non-fiction, mainly non-fiction, quite a lot of memoirs. I've listened to a lot of ex-SAS kind of books and Navy SEAL books and things like that. I find them very motivating. It's a world I don't know anything about and would never, get involved in myself, but kind of just find it really quite fascinating. Recently, I listened to David Goggins' second book, which isn't as good as his first one, Can't Hurt Me, but then that's not saying too much, to be fair, because Can't Hurt Me was fantastic. His second one is very good, very inspiring, but not as good as his first one. Neither of them are as good as this, as far as I'm concerned. Ant Middleton's books I often rave about. I think his books are really, really good. They're well written, they're inspiring, but again, kind of nothing on this, to be honest with you. And I think even those guys would probably admit that themselves, to be fair. This guy's story, Toby Gutteridge, is so inspiring and so kind of gives you such a sense of perspective. It's ridiculous. Since I've listened to it and read it, I just have a different kind of view on life. I try to appreciate things every day as much as I possibly can anyway, but I really am. I've got this guy kind of in my head every time I'm thinking about not exercising or I'm thinking about not working hard or anything like that. I've got him and I just sort of think, Jesus Christ, if he can achieve what he's achieved and get through it, then I can do anything basically. And some of my massive sort of ambitions that I have, this guy is just hugely inspiring. And I think he will have inspired, he says in the book, if you can change one person's life for the better, then he's done it, and without doubt he's going to achieve much more than that. And we don't know the positive impact, we don't know the long-term positive effect of helping people in that way. You've only got to do one kind of small act of kindness or decency or inspiration to someone to have a real knock-on effect, and this guy Toby Gutteridge is going to have had a huge positive impact, I think, from this. It's fantastic. I'm listening to at the minute Spare by Prince Harry, and I've kind of always been a bit of a reasonable fan of his kind of thing. Saw him as a bit of a rebel, he served his country and all that sort of stuff, but definitely kind of gone off him a little bit in recent times with all this kind of publicity and moaning and whining. And no matter how much he talks about his mum and all the crap that he went through, and he really did, and the paparazzi were horrendous towards him, it still just smacks of kind of self-entitlement and whinging, and this book just... Reading and listening to this book compared to that, I almost don't have the patience for what he's got to say at all, to be fair. But I don't want to kind of dilute this review by talking about other books. I just wanted to give you a bit of a sense of perspective there from what I've done, and I will be reviewing those books very soon as well. This one, I'm not going to give you any spoilers on it. It doesn't, ridiculous to be spoiling it. You need to read it yourself or listen to it yourself. It's fantastic on Audible as well. It's really well narrated. It just gave me all sorts of different emotions while I was listening to it. It's just absolutely superb. Some of the comments are on the back if you can see those. Mixture of feeling like crying, feeling hugely inspired, sense of perspective, laughing at times. And it's a really nice story as well. He talks about his childhood growing up and some of the things he got up to. He gives a real good account of himself. He's not arrogant, he's not conceited or any of that sort of stuff. It doesn't feel self-indulgent. It just feels like an honest, open account of the hell that he went through, basically, and how he came out the other side, and the stuff he's doing now today, which is just so inspiring. So this is a 5-star book for me, without a doubt. Highly recommend it. It's one of those books I think everyone should actually read or listen to, just to, whether you're into military or against that sort of stuff or whatever you are, you need to give this a listen or a read, just to get a bit of an idea of if he can get through the stuff he's got through the way he has, then there's no excuse for the rest of us, basically. Cheers, thank you very much, and speak again soon. Bye.